Leona Graham Podcast.
Brought to you by Honda School of Motorcycling, new rider programme.
Welcome to episode 6 of the Leona Graham Podcast, sponsored by Honda Motorcycles and the Honda School of Motorcycling. Check out the new rider programme, which includes everything you need to get on two wheels, spreading the upfront costs. The complete package includes training, test, motorcycle, service plan and rider kit. To find out more, go to honda.co.uk or speak to your local Honda dealership. Coming up on today's episode, I'm joined by lead singer of the almighty Ricky Warwick, also lead singer of Thin Lizzy, Black Star Riders, and was once rhythm guitarist with New Model Army. He'll be telling us about his new solo music, what it was like following in the footsteps of Phil Lynott, and also gives us a Leona Graham Podcast exclusive about the almighty. Plus, you'll get the chance to win tickets to see Ricky perform live and a signed copy of his brand new album. Meanwhile, journalist Anna Geary is back to tell me all about how she was approached with one of the worst chat-up lines in history and her feelings on Yorkshire puddings. Now, no podcast would be complete without a mention of my beloved Ozzy Osbourne. And well, of course, the Black Sabbath concert sold out immediately, but there is fresh hope. An extra pair of tickets to see Black Sabbath Back to the Beginning at Villa Park are available thanks to one of the charities, the Acorns Children's Hospice. And they're going to auction off a pair of tickets to see the concert on Saturday, July the 5th. More details on music-news.com. Now, from a band who started it all to someone who could be the most versatile man in rock, Ricky Warwick.
A-side.
Welcome to the podcast, Ricky Warwick. How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me.
Starting with the A-side, you picked up your first guitar at the age of 13. And why was that? What prompted you to start playing?
You know, it was really simple. I was starting to get into music, being at high school in first year, and we snuck into Belfast. It was 1980. Stiff Little Fingers are playing the Ulster Hall in Belfast. Obviously, there was a lot of stuff going on at that time in Northern Ireland, but we snuck in, me and my friend, totally lied to our parents, and I went to see Stiff Little Fingers play the Ulster Hall, and it changed my life.
How did you get drafted into New Model Army for their 87 World Tour? And what was it like to play with them?
That was unbelievable. It was just one of those things. I was in a little punk band. I'd moved to Scotland at this time, and we ended up getting picked up by New Model Army's management. They put us on a few shows with New Model Army. Justin Sullivan, New Model Army singer, knew I was a big fan. So after we finished our set, he came by and said, look, I need an extra guitar on a couple of songs. Would you like to jump up on stage with us and play on, yada, yada, yada. I was like, oh man, absolutely. Yeah. So that progressed to 5 songs to, by the end of the tour, there was 7, 8 songs in the set. And then I went back home. I got a call about a week later, said, we're going on a world tour. We need an extra guitar player. The gig is yours if you want it. And I was like, okay, I'm at the airport. Tell me where I need to go.
What was the music scene like in Glasgow in the 1980s when you formed the Almighty? And how did you guys get together?
Well, I came back from the New Model Army after about just almost a year and a half of that world tour. And they went into the studio to record a new album. And they wanted to keep me as a live member, but I had the idea for the Almighty and the whole ethos behind that already planned out in my mind. So I went back to Glasgow, got in touch with a couple of old school friends, Stump and Floyd, and we started rehearsing as the Almighty. At that time, there was a lot of hard rock going on because Guns N' Roses, The Cult, Zodiac Mind, Warp, all those bands were putting out their first records. So there was a good buzz about hard rock and heavy metal at that point. So there was a good scene, and Glasgow, like anywhere else, there was lots of places to play back then.
Now, of course, you're currently relocating back to Northern Ireland from LA. How much have your Northern Irish roots played a part in your music? And do you find that your music changes depending on your location?
People will say my accent does.
Do you just pick up the local accent?
Well, I lived in Northern Ireland for so long, so when I'm back here, the Northern Irish brogue comes out. And as soon as I go to Scotland to hook up with the Almighty guys, I'm back into the Scottish bit, but I am definitely, I think, a true Ulster Scot. I think that culturally where you're from has a significant part to play on who you are and what you are. And I think that's no different with me. I'm certainly aware of the great heritage of music to come out from Ireland, and certainly the north of Ireland, all the great bands, Stiff Little Fingers. Obviously, I mentioned Lizzy Undertones, and then the Irish bands like Thin Lizzy, Roy Gallagher, Horselips. That was all very much a part of my DNA growing up and listening to those acts. Like moving to Glasgow again, you've got such a great scene over in Scotland, with the likes of Nazareth and stuff like that. When we were starting out, although they're from Dunfermline. I don't want to get in trouble for getting that wrong. So there was plenty to soak up and take in, and we did. We were like sponges. We were absorbing it all, but we were very conscious of trying to have an identity of our own as well.
Yeah. You're about to launch a solo album. What can we expect?
Lots of guitars, lots of big choruses. I've got some great special guests on there. Hopefully songs that you can sing along to and will resonate with you. Yeah, I'm excited.
Any new music with the Almighty?
No, we have been in the studio working on something. I can't say what it is yet, but it's about to be revealed very soon. It's pretty exciting. So it's new music, but it's not new music as such. So there you go. It's very cryptic and not giving anything away. But I think people will dig it when they hear it.
So we get a sort of exclusive on the podcast. There's something happening.
Yeah, there's definitely something happening, and all will be revealed as soon as.
Okay, can't wait.
B-side.
How do you find stepping into the role of the front man of Thin Lizzy, following Phil Lynott, and what sort of challenges did that bring?
There's one lead singer in Thin Lizzy, and that's Phil. And that's the way it should be, and that's the way that it is. I got to sing Phil and the guys' songs. Those great songs. I got to sing those songs. I never dreamed of trying to put even my little toe into Lynott's shoes. All I could do is really stand beside them and hope that some of the man's greatness would rub off on me. He's such an influence on me anyway that I just absorbed everything about that band when I was in it. I felt like I got to know Phil. Obviously, he's sadly no longer with us, but I just read his poetry. I talked to his mother, Philomena. I talked to Jim Fitzpatrick, who designed a lot of the Lizzy albums. So I got to know his really close friends. Obviously, Scott Gorham, Brian Downey, the rest. And what was he like? So I learned a lot about him, and I just wanted to deliver the songs. If you close your eyes, yes, it's similar-ish, but obviously try and put my own mark on the songs as well. And it's that sort of fine line, and just trying to keep everybody happy and respecting the legacy and respecting Phil. And I'm not going to lie to you, it wasn't easy. It was difficult. It was a challenge, but, hopefully it was one that I rose to because I am such a fan. And it was done with complete honor, and humility and respect for Phil and the band throughout.
Having been part of quite a few different bands, how do you go about creating the different identities for each? How do you balance it all?
It just kind of happens naturally, with Black Star Riders. If I'm working on a song or an idea, I would go, well, that sounds like a Black Star Riders riff. I'll not finish that. I'll maybe take it to a certain point, and then I'll take it into the band and let the other guys put their input into it. With the solo stuff, it's complete narcissism. You're writing for yourself. You really don't have anybody else to consider or think about. So, you can really just go all out on that. But there's definitely been a few raised eyebrows with Scott when I've played him some of my solo stuff, and he's going, "Really? You didn't give that to Black Star Riders?" And I'm like, "Oh," but it didn't happen too many times. You just kind of know. You know what's going to work for whatever thing you're working on. And so if it's Black Star Riders, you go, "That's definitely BSR riff." Or if I was writing an Almighty riff, I'd know straight away that would be an Almighty riff. And same with solo. Sometimes I get it wrong, but most of the time I think I get it right.
If you had to pick one thing, what would you say has been the key to your success in the world of rock and roll?
My father. Listening to him and his work ethic and his words of wisdom and staying grounded and remembering who you are, where you're from, and to be respectful and to be gracious and be polite. And that was instilled in me from a really, really young age.
Bonus tracks.
First rock artist or band you loved?
Probably Slade. Seeing them on Top of the Pops. Take Me Back Home by Slade was my first single. That's definitely the first band I can remember falling in love with.
First song you wrote?
Wow. It was, oh man, this is awful. It was this song called Go Away. And I wrote it when I was 12, and it was the first song I ever wrote on that electric guitar that I got. And it was awful. But I wrote it. It was a song, and look what it started.
Does the song exist on a tape anywhere?
Yes, there's a demo of it somewhere, which I have, which nobody's hearing ever.
So not a podcast exclusive then?
Oh, no, it's bad. It's so bad, it's good.
Okay. First job?
I grew up on the farm, so, home from school, working on the farm from when I was 7, 8 years old. Left school at 15, came home, started working on the farm before the music took off.
Favourite genre of music to listen to?
Motown and Northern Soul.
Oh, bit Northern Soul.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it.
You just fancy something different to what you play?
You know who got me into it? Justin Sullivan from New Model Army was a big Motown and Northern Soul fan, and he turned me on to that way back when I was in that band, and I fell in love with it. And the melodies and the playing and the performances in those songs, I find so inspiring, and I carry that into a lot of the hard rock stuff that I do.
Tatty scones or traditional scones?
Tatty scones every time.
If you could have dinner with anyone from history, who would it be and why?
Wow, that's a great question. I think it would have to be Martin Luther King would be good. Because I really like what he stood for and what he was trying to do.
Favourite song you've written?
Free and Easy.
Yes. Greatest rock band of all time?
The Beatles.
Okay, now onto the dramatic reading. I want you to imagine the lyrics to Free and Easy are actually a script to a psychological horror film. Ricky, have a go at this.
There ain't no use in running, 'cause I'll get to you. There ain't no use in praying, 'cause God won't see you through. Everything sounds sinister in a Northern Irish accent. Did you notice that? Ain't no use in running, 'cause I'll get to you. Ain't no use in praying. God won't see you through. I believe in nothing, so don't believe in me. We all have our sins, baby. Hold on. You will see.
Yeah, that's really good. And just ends with the line, Free and Easy.
Everything is so free and easy.
Ricky, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
The Leona Graham Podcast.
Brought to you by Honda School of Motorcycling, new rider program.
Hey, folks, Ricky Warwick here. Keep listening for your chance to win some tickets to come and see me play live.
So, making a guest appearance after many years on the podcast, it's Harley Graham. Hi, Harley.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. I've brought you in as a special guest to talk to us about the Six Nations. But first, let's have a listen to one of your early editions of you on the podcast from years ago.
Fans, just give me at least 1,000 comments or tweets that you want my autograph, and I will give it to you in black and white, and I'll sign it.
So, Harley, how does it feel hearing yourself from a few years ago?
I sound very strange.
Right, now I've embarrassed you. Can you tell us about the Six Nations, please? So, you're a big fan of the rugby. You went, you play. What's going on with the Six Nations?
We just finished week 4 of the Six Nations. So this week is the final week, and Ireland and Italy are playing, England and Wales are playing, and Scotland and France are playing.
So what is your prediction, Harley? Who is going to win Six Nations?
Well, currently the table's saying that France are at the top.
Yeah.
And then I believe it's England, then Ireland, Italy, and then Wales. So depending on how the next week goes, it could be between France, England, and Ireland. But I'm predicting France in first, Ireland second, England third, Italy fourth, and Wales fifth.
Okay, you heard it here first.
Oh,
Those
wait,
are the
I forgot
predictions.
Scotland.
Okay, where are you putting Scotland?
France first, Ireland second, England third, Scotland fourth, Italy fifth, and Wales sixth.
Should we put money on this, Harley? Are you pretty sure?
For like a couple quid.
Okay, let's do it. Anything else you want to add for the podcast, Harley?
I don't do any sort of ballet anymore. I'm actually a very cool person.
The fact that you brought that up, like, makes it worse because a lot of people wouldn't have even remembered that.
No, it's such a strange like time that I used to do that. So I'm actually very cool now. I play rugby.
There's nothing to be ashamed of, the fact that you did ballet when you were younger. You were talented.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, now you're rugby. What position do you play?
I play winger, preferably left wing.
And for those regular podcast followers, we're referring to my old podcast, the Rock and Road podcast. Where are you up to with your drumming now?
I'm doing grade 6, I think.
You think? Not even sure. That's how much she loves it. Yes, Harley's going to do grade 6. So, all right, we'll come back to you in a couple of years and see what's going on.
Sure.
Thanks, Harley.
All right, bye.
Competition time now, and this week you've got a chance to win 2 tickets to go and see Ricky Warwick live, as well as a signed copy of his brand new album, which is out on Friday the 14th of March. Just answer this multiple choice question. Ricky Warwick has fronted lots of bands, but which of these bands has he not fronted? A. Thin Lizzy, B. The Almighty, or C. The Last Dinner Party? Get your entries in by Sunday the 16th of March 2025 at midnight. Winner will be notified on Monday the 17th of March. I got to catch up with journalist and pal Anna Geary this week in our brand new venue in Soho. And if you go to my YouTube page, you'll be able to see our chat as well as hear it. Now, this week we got chatting about International Women's Month and our favourite women in history. I bet you'll never guess who Anna picked as hers. Hi Anna, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, good. What's been going on?
Well, can I just say I'm just loving these new digs where we're recording now.
This is very cool. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm loving your glittery outfit. It's so sparkly.
I got this from a charity shop.
What's the occasion?
Well, pancakes.
Exactly. That's what it should be. Dress up.
Pancakes.
Any excuse.
Any excuse. Exactly. You know me.
Also, did you know, I know we've had Pancake Day recently, that today is National Popcorn Lovers Day.
Oh, okay.
What's your view on popcorn?
I'm a half and half kind of girl. Half sweet, half salty.
Oh.
How about you?
100% salt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're just not keen on the sweet.
I've just given up all things like that. I don't have anything sweet anymore.
Oh, they always have a day for everything, don't
There
they
is,
now?
because the week after next week, it is National Black Pudding Day. What's your view on that?
Oh, I am not a fan of black pudding.
Even though you're a northerner.
I know.
Come on.
I mean, I love gravy, but
I love gravy.
just not really black pudding.
What's your views on Yorkshire pudding?
Love Yorkshire pudding.
Okay.
Now, that is something that, like, when me and my sister were little, we had to just race to get the Yorkshire puddings, otherwise they'd be off the plate. Like, the whole family are
Really?
obsessed with Yorkshire
That's
puddings.
Harley now, so we'll make a massive Yorkshire pudding and he'll just want to eat the whole thing.
Oh,
I'm more roast potatoes.
Oh, I like roasties when they've been made in, like, duck fat. So
specific.
healthy, aren't I?
I don't know how they're cooked, I just like them.
Oh, I do. Oh, a roast is a good shout.
Yeah, roast
We've
is the
not had
best.
one of them in a while. We should go for a roast.
Let's do that.
Okay. So I had a really strange chat up line. Now, this is actually going back 2 months, but I wrote it down at the time because I thought Leona's going to want to hear this. So I was just on the tube and some guy just stopped me, right? Random guy. He says, I'm going to read this to you.
Okay.
Excuse me, miss, you need to be more careful. Me? I'm sorry. Man, you dropped something. I said, what? Because I thought the tube, I've lost something, you know. And then he said, my jaw.
Oh, my God. Where's the nearest bucket? Oh, my God, are you serious?
Honestly. And then
What did you say?
Then he said, so do you want to exchange numbers? And I said, no, thank you. And then he said, why not? And I said, because I can see all of your chest hair. Because he was like sticking up over the top.
You didn't say because your chat-up lines repulsed me.
The chat-up line was grim. But I thought, it's gross when you see someone's chest hair. And then he was like, well, yeah, why is that a problem? And I was like, it's January.
Oh, my God. That is just gross on so many levels.
Why are you so stupid?
There's a lot, what, men in general?
Well, yeah, I can't say that anymore, but you know, yeah.
We're not allowed to say things like that. However, we will mention that it is International Women's Month.
Yes.
And which leads me nicely on to who do you think in history, or anyone alive or not, that you respect the most?
Dolly Parton. 100%. You know,
You didn't hesitate there.
Well, you just know my love for her. She's the most amazing woman, and she does a lot for charity, and she's just a superstar.
What is it about her then, in particular, other than her charity work?
I mean, I love her music as well.
Yeah.
And one of her songs got me through the pandemic.
9 to 5?
No.
Jolene?
It's called Light of a Clear Blue Morning.
Well, they're the only two I know.
It's not as well known, but I'm going to send it to you after this pod.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just, you know, she's got this library where she gives sort of underprivileged kids the chance to read. She's just brilliant.
I'm going to go with Joan Jett.
Why Joan Jett?
Because she's just a good rock and roll woman.
Oh. Well, you're a good rock and roll woman.
Oh, thank
Have you met Joan Jett?
No, I haven't met her, actually. That's one of my ambitions. And to meet, of course, Ozzy Osbourne. Never met him either. They're my favourites.
I would love to see you meet Ozzy.
Oh, I'd love to meet Ozzy Osbourne. I love him. That's it for episode 6 of the podcast. A big thank you to my guest, Ricky Warwick. You'll be able to catch the interview on my YouTube channel, Leona Graham DJ. And you've been listening to the Leona Graham podcast with me, Leona Graham, produced by Emily Moulton, sponsored by Honda Motorcycles and the Honda School of Motorcycling, and brought to you by Whitney Wildone. See you next time.
The Leona Graham Podcast.
Brought to you by Honda School of Motorcycling, new rider programme. Everything you need to get on 2 wheels, spreading the upfront costs. The complete package includes training, test, motorcycle, service plan and rider kit. Find out more on honda.co.uk or speak to your local Honda dealership.